But we are live now.
Are we live now?
Yes. So hopefully you can see everything.
Hola.
You can do the intro today. You can say hello to everybody.
Okay. Hey, everyone.
I thought I'd create a copyright issue and introduce a TED Talks. Welcome to Surf Tuesday.
Yes.
I guess what do we decide to talk about is
How do I get
the
started?
world's most boring topic, which is habits. But let's change that to where do I get started, right?
Yes.
So I'm really busy. My work is crazy and I'm unfit and I don't know how to get back fit again. And that's what we're going to talk about today, hopefully. Where do we start? Larry,
Yes.
tell me a little bit more about you. Like, have you ever been unfit?
Oh, my Lord. Yep. Okay. So quick, short, condensed version.
Because I haven't. I don't recall you being unfit.
Well, here's the thing.
Previous life.
It sneaks up on you. So here's what happened to me. And basically, I mean, yeah, I've always been into fitness ever since I was 10 years old, running around with my brother, following my father around the golf course. So always been into physical fitness, played, like most kids in New Zealand, play rugby and soccer and league and all that, tennis and all that kind of stuff, surfing, the whole 9 yards. So we're very blessed and lucky to live in such a beautiful country where we can do all that. So you grow up, you're always health and fit. Health and fit. When I got older, we were all into this. We all wanted to be Arnold Schwarzenegger and lift heavy weights. So, big was good, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, old age sneaks up on you. And I was in good shape. When I was fit and healthy, I probably at about 105 kilos. With very little body fat. I thought, yeah, this is good. And then you think you're always like that. And then the next minute you're 30, and then the next minute you're 40, 45, 46, I think I was. Actually took my son over to Africa. We did a safari tour over there and loved it. Thoroughly recommend it to anyone. Ate a whole lot of beautiful South African food, drank a lot of South African beer, got back from Africa. We were over there for about 6-7 weeks. Got back, I was 115 kilos.
Wow.
115 kilos. And one of the things we do all those touristy things. We took a photo of myself and my son. We were on elephants on the banks of the Zambezi River.
On your web.
Yeah, I've done a whole video on that on methuselahmindset.com.
Yeah.
And and then so my mates were looking at that photo of me on the elephant, me and my son and the keeper on the elephant, and they go, "Oh, that's Laz, the elephant on the elephant." And that became the running joke, right? Which is all very funny, and you chuckle along as you do. But then, of course, when your friends go home, you're sitting there and you're thinking about yourself, and all of a sudden, you're not that 105 kilo with low body fat, super fit thing. All of a sudden, you're 115 kilos and you're horribly overweight and horribly unfit. So that was my personal journey.
Right. And
that's
you're what, 40?
I was about
late
40,
40s.
late 40s.
What I am now.
Right.
Rough.
Pretty much what you are now. And you just don't believe it's happened to you. You can't believe it's happened to you, and you don't admit it to yourself, right?
Yeah.
But then, of course, when it smacks you in the face like that, you're confronted with it, and you have to face up to it.
You could ignore it for a long time,
as I did,
and
chose not to see it.
The easy answer.
It is
just pretend you can't see it.
Yep.
So what did you do?
Well, actually, funny. After that, not long after that, I was still working in corporate, and I was with a young salesman, and we had a client on I think it was the 14th or 15th floor or something. Right, I'm in there, 3-piece suit, tie, the whole net deal, and we're late for the meeting, of course. And we get to the premises, and guess what's not working? The lift. Oh no, we've got to use the stairs.
Reality.
Oh wow, reality check, big time. Yeah. Right. By the time I got to about the 5th floor, I'm not feeling well. Okay. By the time we got to about the 10th floor, I'm feeling ill, I'm dizzy, and I'm not in a good way. Sorry?
No, you go. I was going to say, obviously you weren't doing any exercise.
I was pushing weights, right? I was still lifting heavy weights.
Correct.
Yeah, just still lifting heavy weights, but not doing any cardio and not doing any fitness. No HIIT workouts, no run. I was doing a little bit of running, but just jogging. Nothing that was really pushing me.
And can I ask about diet, or is that
terrible? Well, terrible
for you, or
terrible
just,
for me, I would say, because I've
yeah,
always eaten pretty healthy since I was
yeah,
probably about 25, but probably terrible for me. And I guess I picked up some bad habits in Africa too,
yeah.
right? You
I
know,
guess when you're traveling, you're always eating out, right?
you are
Like there's no choice.
correct,
And
correct.
sometimes you get good options, and sometimes it's just McDonald's in another part of the world, isn't
And
it?
not only that, I picked up that habit that a lot of guys in my demographic do is at the end of the day, you think, oh, I deserve a beer. I'm going to
Yeah,
have a beer. I deserve a beer. I've been working hard. I've been doing this. So,
yeah,
one becomes two, becomes three, becomes four. Next minute, every night, you're doing half a dozen beers. But I think, well, every beer's, standard bottle's at 150 calories or something, so
yeah,
do the math. So anyway, long story short, which is too late for that, I got to the top
yeah.
floor, it was about 14th, 15th floor, whatever, and I nearly collapsed. I had to sit down. I had to loosen my tie and everything. My young salesman mate was going, he thought I was having a heart attack. I was probably close to it. And he said, Laz, you're all right.
Was it like you're all right?
Yeah, he was like, sit down. I had to sit down. He says, mate, are you all right? You're all right? I had to sit down in this little weird chair by the reception. The receptionist looking at me going, shit, am I going to have to ring 111? This guy doesn't look well. Honestly, I was dizzy. I was physically ill. And then again, not like I need another sledgehammer, but that was it for me. I was like,
Yeah,
okay, man, this is it. Reality check. I got to start doing something about this. So look, how did I start? The next day, I went for a very slow run. All right, very small steps, but that's why
yeah,
without giving advice, my suggestion for anyone is just start baby steps, just start small. So I just started doing a half-hour jog
yeah.
every second day.
I think we should give advice. I mean, people can take it or leave it. But I guess, like, you're obviously relatively independent, motivated person.
Sometimes.
So,
Echoed.
but obviously, you can just join a gym, right? And part of that, if you pay a membership, and when you get to the gym, I guess you're there. There's other people exercising. It promotes you.
Yep.
So, from what I did a little bit of homework about habits.
Yep.
And it talked a lot about you need to change your environment because your habits are your shortcuts to your life, right? So your habits is about just your brain using its power to shortcut your life, to do things quickly,
Yeah.
and so that you don't have to think about them. It's a habit, right? You just do it, and and breaking those habits if you're in the same environment, same house, your gym equipment's either not there or it's in the cupboard, right? Gathering dust. You sort of need to get it out or have an area set up. Obviously, if you pay to go to a gym, it's done for you, right? The environment's changed. Once you get there, you sort of don't have a choice. If you're going to do it at home, like you were, you need a bit more self-discipline, which you've obviously got. So that's the option you chose, right?
Yeah.
So you started doing running just like a real gradual build-up.
Yeah.
Was it an active like I need to do some cardio as well?
100%. I mean, the lucky thing for me is because I, come from a background of always doing health and fitness.
Yeah.
I actually knew what to do. I think the problem I hear most for other people is they're not like me, right?
Yeah.
They haven't exercised since high school when they were made to, right?
Yeah.
So they actually don't know what to do, and that's the biggest thing because, and I've said this a few times, especially people in my demographics in the 50s and 60s, they're too embarrassed to go to a gym for a start, right?
Well, it's hard on the first day.
Absolutely. Because it's almost
you can't lift more than one rep of tiny weights compared to the man next to you.
And a lot of people, I bumped into a mate on the beach at Mangawhai one time, and he admitted to the same thing. He was like 140 kilos. He was too embarrassed to start. There's no way he was going to. So, and then of course they jump online onto the Google and YouTube, and they're bombarded with all these, lunatics that are, it's all fake, right? It's absolutely all rubbish, and they get overwhelmed and they just give up.
And the expectation
they just give up
is way too high for starting, right? Like, you can picture these buff people lifting all these. You don't really need to get there anyway. Full stop.
That's 100%. That's one thing I try and say to people as well. Okay, it's just got nothing to do with the way you look. It just really doesn't. And I mean, I know that's a cliche, but it's just so true. All right. Look, the reality is, if
everyone's different body shape,
everybody's different, right?
And that, a lot of it, to a certain extent, is you do have to eat well and exercise, but a lot if you do all that stuff, you're going to be shorter and rounder or taller and skinnier. or slightly wider in the middle than the back end. Like it's all, a lot of that's genetics, and just get over it.
100%.
But can you climb 15 flights of stairs without having a heart
Passing
attack?
out.
Like that's almost the test, right? Like, can you do 5?
Well, exactly, right?
Yeah. So I guess my point is, yep, there's different ways to do it. I think a gym, it just doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah,
The
a lot
only
of people
time
don't like
I
it,
like
mate.
going to the gym is when I went and we did the boxing thing.
Yeah,
Love that.
that's good. Yeah.
A little bit of that's the competitive thing too. Like just going to the gym and just lifting weights brainlessly. Oh my God.
Most people don't like it. It's just the reality, and it's unfortunate because look, the evidence-based science is 100% clear. Okay, lifting weights. All
Yeah,
right,
the resistance thing.
resistance
Yeah.
training is absolutely your best defense.
Totally. And I don't
It's
doubt that
sarcopenia
at
and
all.
all those
Yeah.
things, right?
And there's 2 things in there. There's the resistance stuff and then the cardio stuff.
Correct.
And if you can do a little, even a tiny bit of those 2
Yep.
each week.
Yep.
So I don't mean every day. I mean like just
No,
you go for a 30-minute
2 or 3 times a
You
week.
go for a 30-minute walk and you do some resistance training and that would change your life. And it's not that hard to do. So I guess, and how long did it take you? Like what? Because just to pause a little bit, you said like you've done it before. I
Yep.
think you are right. For a lot of people, they lose fitness when they leave school because they're not forced to do sport and PE and stuff.
Correct.
They just get busy at work and they don't have a sports team. You knew what it was like to be fit and so you know that the results will come with the effort, if you know what I mean.
Correct.
So in your brain, you're like, yeah, I know it's going to be sore for the first week, but I know the results will come with the effort. I think some people maybe have self-doubt, or if they haven't done it before.
Well, 100%. So that's in a whole nother podcast, really, because there's a thing called muscle memory.
Yeah.
All right. Now, again, because I'd always, normally been in good shape
Yeah.
and worked out and everything, I had that muscle memory. So
Yeah.
the muscles know, oh, we're going to click into sit there. For someone that hasn't exercised since high school or never, right, they don't have the benefit of
gonna
that.
take
So
longer, right?
it's going to take longer. And that's the trouble, too, because
But as long as they have the right expectation.
well, that's where it comes. Okay, so that's where the mindset comes in,
Yeah.
right? Because what you're talking about is how bad do you want it? Okay,
Yeah.
because it's about self accountability, all
Yeah.
right, and discipline. That's where the accountability and the discipline gets in. And as we get old and comfortable, we get lazy. That's just a fact.
Yeah, but they're
right?
not lazy in work.
No, but that's the bizarre thing, right? They'll spend 8 hours a day at work working for someone else or more,
Yeah.
right? But then they won't spend half an hour a day on their own personal fitness.
Yeah.
It's a bizarre situation people find themselves in. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah. But they could use that motivation if they could believe in themselves a little bit. I don't want to sound too condescending here.
No, you don't. But see, that's what I'm saying. That's the hurdle, because that's where the discipline comes in. Because of course, people get bombarded with all this stuff online and the marketing of it, and they think they're gonna, if they do all these things in if you're starting from scratch and zero, you're going to be super fit and healthy in 6 months' time. The reality is you're not. You're going to be better.
Yes.
Okay, you're going to be way, way, way better. For every month you exercise, you're going to be that much better, and everything's going to be working better.
Yeah.
But if you want to get really awesome results and get into a pretty good state of fitness, man, you want to block away 12 months. All right.
Yeah.
Measure yourself. Through that, if you can't measure something, you can't manage it.
Yeah.
After 12 months, as long as you're doing the right exercises and you've got a decent diet, you're going to see amazing results. But it takes 12 months. And the problem is, a lot of people, after 3 or 4 months, they're not seeing any results. They go,
3 weeks.
I give up. Well, even they give up. And it doesn't happen that quick.
I do think.
Especially when you're older, right? It doesn't happen that quick.
No, that becomes clear to me now. I think once you get past 40, it becomes really clear that your body, it's just not the same.
Well, it's not burning up
whether
glucose.
You like it or not.
Well, it's not burning up that energy. It's not, you haven't got the same metabolism. You're not burning up that glucose. You're not storing all those sugars and everything, into energy. It's turning into fat. All right, and that's just a casualty, a result of age.
Yeah,
but
no one's going to fight that.
You can't. You
just have to accept it.
Correct.
I think people though. And I agree, it's going to take 12 months. I don't know. I'll ask you in a second how long it took you, roughly.
That's a generalisation. It's different for everyone.
But
that's pretty much that. It's around about that time.
Yeah. If when people are starting, if their brain is like, I'm not going to be any different for 12 months, they just give up because 12 months is so far away.
Yeah, but it's not. it's 12 months is not far away.
But in their brain it is.
They shouldn't think like that.
I mean,
you
I
know?
can, yeah.
They don't want to think like that.
No.
But
No,
I
that's right.
get
You've
why
got
it's
to
hard
fight
not
that.
to, because the marketing tells them, almost brainwashes them. Oh, you can
Yeah.
do this and you'll be right in, 6 weeks' time. That's just not reality,
How long did it take you?
It probably took me to get back into the shape I was, probably at least 6 months, right? And like I say, at least I,
But
reasonably knew what I was doing and had a plan,
But I would have thought you would have felt significantly better within 3 weeks.
Oh, and within a month, I felt better.
Like,
right?
I know that you're not going to be like at
Correct.
the level you
Correct.
you want to be at, but from going from like I can't climb 10 flights of stairs without dying,
Yeah.
to I'm sure 3 weeks later, if you went back and climbed those 10 flights of stairs again, you'd be like, yeah, I'm still puffing, but man, it's like probably double or 50% better than I was going 3 weeks ago.
100%. And I think, and again, this is a generalization, but this is something I'd like people to focus on too, right? It will take, if you want to look different and get to that great fitness, it's probably going to take you about 12 months. But guess what? If you're exercising regularly, if you're exercising regularly 2, 3, 4 times a week, right?
Yeah.
Within 2 months, never mind physically how you look, you probably won't look that much different. You'll look a little better, but mentally, okay, you'll be on fire. Because everything's working properly, your digestion system's functioning a lot better, your microbiome in your stomach, okay, it's sending all the right signals to your brain. And energy-wise, your energy, after 2 months, your energy levels will increase tenfold, and you'll be thinking clearer, okay?
You'll sleep better.
You'll sleep
So you
better.
have more energy to exercise.
Correct. Everything is working better because you're moving, all right? Motion is lotion, all right? You'll hear me say that on the channel 100 times. Motion is lotion, right?
You've got to use it or you lose it. And it's just, we hear it over and over again.
And here's the other massive benefit, right? When you get into your 50s and 60s, because your metabolism slowed down and things are drying up, right? All those synovial juices that flow through your joints, all those hinge movements, all right? Your elbows, your shoulders, your knees, your hips go in people in my demographic. Okay. When you start exercising and you start moving those, everything's getting lubricated. So what that does is it massively helps you with prevention for injury.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. And that's probably as good as anything else. All of a sudden, you've just reduced your risk of injury, because when you get injured at my age, it takes so long to recover.
And the recovery time.
Right. It just takes so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And did you change your diet too?
Yeah, I did. 100%.
Did you think about that?
Oh, 100%. Look, after looking at that, photo of myself, the elephant on the elephant a few times, I cut out beer, right?
Yeah.
I've never
Completely? Or just most of the time?
Most of the time, but I've never really been a big drinker anyway. Yes, I drank a lot in South Africa because I was on a holiday and I love South African beer, right? It was just too good. It was just too good not to. But anyway, cut that out. Probably after about 6 months, I got back to normal, where I sort of just to have a social drink and then some no beer. That makes a massive difference just right there.
And
alcohol's a poison. There's no way around it.
Totally agree with you. I got to talk to you about that too, because last night was a bit hard on me.
Look, you've still got to enjoy yourself and have fun and live life, right?
I totally agree.
Okay.
But it's noticeable. So since I last talked to you, like 3 weeks ago, right? Because we better not do too much of the podcast thing and like ramble on for half an hour and never get to the
true
point.
Stick to the point, sir.
Yeah. So for me too, like half the reason to do this is for me to get fitter, right? And so like I think you are an inspiration for me, so I could sort of use this podcast selfishly to try these things that you suggest, all right? And you mentioned this 10-10-20. Tell people what it is.
Okay, so one of the tools I use to get myself back into shape, which is something previously I'd done for decades, and that's just a morning routine, and that's all around that accountability and discipline. So first thing I do in the morning, well, at my age, the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning is you go to the bathroom.
Again.
You get that out of the way, and then bam, I'm dropping down, I'm doing 10 squats, all right? I'm doing 10 press-ups, or push-ups as they call them in the US, okay? And I'm doing 20 crunches. And then I throw in a couple of stretches there as well, which is the child's pose to cobra, and some lunges, all right? So just a very, very simple routine. I might do, depending on how late I am, getting ready for work in the morning, I might do that 2-3 times, all right?
Yeah.
And that just gets my day started off because it gets everything moving. Motion is lotion.
And you would do it every single day?
I would do it every day. So
no matter where you are?
No matter where you are. And that's the thing. There's no equipment necessary.
I agree.
It's all done and dusted in 5-10 minutes. And the thing is, it gets you into that healthy habit.
Yeah.
Right? So it goes back,
We're talking about habits.
That's a healthy habit. And it's not just about the physical. I try and emphasize this to people, and they don't get it until they've done it for a couple of months, and they realize, shit, excuse my French, it's not just the physical, right? It's the mental.
Yeah.
My mind is clearer after doing that in the morning because I'm fully woken up.
Yeah.
I'm charging. The endorphins are running around my body. I'm on. I'm starting off with a bang.
Yeah.
So it's a mental and it's a physical thing. It's a good healthy habit to get into.
It's a little achievement thing there, right? Even if you just do the 10-10-20,
Yep.
or honestly, if it's the first time you're doing it and you do 1-1-2.
Yeah.
The next day you're like, yeah, I did it, okay? And
Yep.
you've made that tiny little change.
Yep.
And, there's a certain moral, like, you can be proud of, like, yep, I made that little change. And then tomorrow it can be 2-2-4. And then, like, because I did this, all right? So you said to me, try that. And probably the two key pieces of advice that stuck in my head was do it straight away.
Yeah.
And I mean straight away. Like you say, you do the essentials, but then you don't go have a coffee.
No.
Which is what, like, my normal morning routine would be the first bit, obviously, and then I'd make a coffee.
Yeah.
All right. And then usually I read the news about something crazy that's happened in America or something. And then I think about food, getting ready for work. And once you start that routine, I'm thinking about, what am I doing today? I'm doing these surgeries. My brain's sort of running through, I've got to get this ready and that ready. And I've got these consults and I've got to go and do that. And
you've missed the boat.
I'm already at work. I'm not at work, but my brain's there, right? So and think at that point, thinking about doing some exercise, I'm like, I'm on the train. The train's left the station. So yeah, do it straight away. So like, if there's one piece of advice for people, it's like, get up, go for a week, and just do it. Doesn't matter how many reps.
No.
Try and have a little trigger in your house. Like I've just got a yoga mat, sits there. So you get it, and the yoga mat's there staring at you. It's sort of harder to ignore it, right? As opposed to like pulling it out of the cupboard.
That's a great idea, yeah.
And then you just go and do it. So perfect. And I'm just doing the 10-10-20 plus a couple of extra things for my surfing for me, obviously. Yeah. And if you've got your own sport or something you're into, like add whatever in. And definitely the stretching's good. So yeah, I reckon it's great advice, and I think it's the best place to start. And the other thing I would say in your mental thing is when you're doing them, especially when at first and it's hurting you or it's sore, right? And you can't do them all or whatever it is. You can't do 10 push-ups, so you do 8. And if it's sore, you need to don't think about the pain. Think about the reason you're doing it, right? It's sort of like a little bit like your opposite world or your surf. I'm doing this to start changing a little bit of my life. And if your brain is focusing on why, not like the result, which is, it's sore, it's hurting, or my left knee's sore, or, how we're all old, then I think it sort of get past that. And you don't set too many numbers in your head about, I've got to do 20,
don't get hung up on that. Yeah, don't get hung up on that.
Yeah. So, I mean, an interesting thing is I'll be getting my kids to do it, and they're here. And I said I might get them on the podcast or YouTube. Do any of you guys want to come and tell me what it's like doing 10-10-20? Like, how often Dad hassles you? Come on,
lads.
Someone can go over with Larry and use his mic, or both of you. Okay, Larry's the favourite. All right, Kieran, you need to speak into the microphone.
Okay.
You don't have to have that. Here you go. You don't need the mic. You can just sit there, Ted, and talk. Ted, Kieran. Oh, can't even see you. Right, so I've been doing them. Hey, has Dad been doing them? You can tell the truth. Tell Larry the truth.
Yes.
Coda's coming in. Coda's coming in. Want some attention?
Yeah, every morning.
Yeah, I'd say.
You can talk to me a bit more.
I think you try to do it.
Yeah. Do I always do 10-10-20?
I'd say.
Yeah, you do, but
That's a lie.
add
I didn't pay them.
as soon as you get up, do it.
Yes, exactly. I know. Honestly, that's the thing.
Man,
just
good
do
to
it.
hear.
Go for a week and just get it done. Yep. And you're right. You feel better afterwards. So I've been having you guys to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who's been doing them?
people. I didn't do mine this morning.
No, that's okay. So,
I've been doing it.
in my opinion, Karen, you struggle more than Ted to do them.
I'm in a bad mood as soon as I wake up.
Yeah.
School day.
So I was asking you in the car. I was like, and I said, well, why? Like, is it because it's sore? Because it's hard?
You don't see any results.
Oh.
Really, for a
And-
while.
You've
And
been
then
doing
you start
it
to
for
give
1
up.
week.
So I asked, like, when do you expect results? Like tomorrow?
No, but you start to get discouraged because they feel harder every single time
Okay.
somehow.
And you've been doing a bit more, Ted, so maybe you do feel results. Like, is it easier to do the press-ups now or the sit-ups?
Yeah, they're easier. Like
Yeah,
when I first started out.
If you wear this, you can hear yourself better.
When I first started out, I was a bit started to feel like a little bit sick when I did the sit-ups. It just sort of my stomach didn't really like it, and
Like
now
muscle sore or just like
Yeah, it
your
just
body
felt-
rejecting exercise?
no, I don't think it was that. It just hurted a little bit,
Okay.
but
That's
now it's quite easy.
So it does get easier pretty quick, eh?
Yeah.
I think it gets easier pretty quickly. And if I told you that if you could do that for the rest of your life, it would just change your life for the better, would you then think it's a good idea to do it?
Well, it kind of depends because as soon as you get up and you don't feel like it, you think,
Come
well,
forward a bit so you can be seen.
obviously when you get up, you kind of feel like.
Yes.
Then as soon as you feel like, oh, it won't matter if I skip today and do it tomorrow because that's only one time.
Yeah.
That's what I feel almost.
But then you skip
and
tomorrow
then you get
as
tomorrow,
well.
and then you're like, oh, it'll be fine. Then you skip that, like it just keeps going until you like.
Yeah.
We might be getting somewhere now. So, like, because it's literally, if you just do 10, 10, 20, it's what? 3 minutes?
Oh,
Maybe?
at most.
Yes.
Less, yeah.
So, like, it's not a time thing. And if it's not a pain thing, because you guys are young enough to be naturally fit, then is it just a mental, like,
Yeah.
can't be bothered?
Yeah, probably.
Sometimes when you're tired
Okay.
or you just want to sleep in the morning, it's a little bit. You're like,
Okay.
do I have to do it? I just woke up and I want to sleep in, but
But no, you're allowed to sleep in. But I mean, once you actually get out of bed, if you just did even in your room, just
Yeah.
1, 1, 2.
Would you believe us? No.
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh,
I would believe you, Kieran.
The other day when I did them, like
Be honestly.
yesterday when I did them.
Did you do that yesterday?
You did them? No, not today. Yesterday.
Without me asking you.
Yeah,
Awesome.
because I got up early and I didn't see anything else to do. I did them. I got up and Dad said, "Oh, have you done your 10, 10, 20?" Like every
That's right.
morning. And then I'm like, "Yeah, Dad, I have." And he's a bit like,
Ooh,
and then
Kieran.
okay. Then he kind of like goes and makes a coffee.
Cool. Did I do mine?
I didn't ask.
Oh, right.
Oh.
So I might have skipped that day.
Holy guacamole.
Yeah.
Kieran's opened up a can of worms here.
Yeah. But it's good. I mean, honestly, I think anyone of any age, if
Yep.
they could do that one thing,
Yep.
and it wouldn't matter if it was 1, 1, 2.
Yep.
But if they did it every day,
Yep.
it would become a
Healthy
habit,
habit.
like going for a week. You just get up, do it, and you can do it anywhere. You're in a hotel room, you're traveling, you're staying at your friend's place, your sister's place, doesn't matter. Get up,
It's done.
and it's done. And then, so obviously you didn't do that when you're overseas. No.
When I was in
South Africa. Yeah.
Oh, in South Africa? No, definitely not.
No.
No, definitely not. No. Nope.
Oh, well. Any other comments on it? Do you think you're going to keep doing it or not?
If you're around, yeah.
Oh,
You're the trigger.
so this is the problem, Kieran, because you need to do it for yourself. It's like self motivation.
Okay, I'll give it a shot. I'll try.
You'll give it a shot?
Yeah. Try.
Okay. Can you give it a shot?
yeah, I can.
But is every single morning a push? Just say no. No, I
Probably
want to
not.
say.
Yeah, probably it's a bit of a push. Like maybe like every second day.
And if I told you you'd be heaps better at hockey and surfing and all that stuff you love doing, if you did this,
Yeah.
that you'd be significantly better,
Yeah.
then would you do it?
Probably. Yeah.
If you truly believe me, you're like, oh, well, I'll actually be really good at hockey and I'll be good at surfing and all this other, because you love sport, right?
Yeah, I love sport.
And you?
Yep.
Yeah.
I find the hard part is actually doing it at this stage. Like once I've been doing it for like a week or so.
Yep.
And the hard part is actually just getting yourself to do it, not. Well, it is obviously a little bit of the actual movement, but half of it is I can't be bothered to do it.
Yeah.
You know what, Ted? That is the problem. It's such a common problem. That is the problem for most people. Just starting.
Yeah.
Once you start, you're away. But
It's
it's
actually
actually
not doing
just,
it.
it's doing its stroll in the park, but it's actually starting. That's why you've just got to start straight away.
If you think about
Just
it, too,
start. Don't think about it. Just start.
and that's the beauty about the first thing in the morning, is you're almost half asleep, right?
Well, I am 100%.
Yeah. So before I've had my coffee, I am almost half asleep.
I wake up on about my 10th crunch.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, okay, I've already done my exercises when I'm having my coffee, and now I can have my day.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for your input, Ted
Yeah.
and Kieran. I think,
Thanks, guys. Good perspective.
so Laramie will wrap up, and then, you guys can help do all the technical stuff.
Yep.
So give me that back.
Thank you.
No worries.
Well done, lads.
Yeah. So I don't know, Larry, like,
Turn
I
these
guess we're doing
on.
this for older people, but I sort of, in my mind, I think everyone's the same, no matter what age group. Like,
Yeah.
even them, they're sort of like, like Kieran said, oh, I did it once or twice, but there's no result. And I know he knows it's silly to expect a result tomorrow, but in your brain, that's what you want. And you do it tomorrow, and it's still hard. And I still, can only do 12 crunches, and then I suffer. You've got to get your brain past the number and the result, and just be doing it every morning, however many you can tolerate. And if you're a tough nut and you can push past the pain and do 50, good on you. Do it. And if you're not, don't worry. If you're softer, that's fine. Be softer, and just do your 12 or your 3. Hey.
Well, look, and I feel sorry for the young fellas and everyone in that respect, that society, modern society and the marketing almost brainwashes us to expect instant results for everything. Everything happens instantly, and the reality is it doesn't.
And we know that, right? We know that. But
when you're bombarded with all that advertising, that marketing, instant results and everything, of course you've got that weighing on your mind. You've just got to block that out and think reality and go, hey, anything literally in life, you got to put the hard work in, right?
Yeah, totally.
And it's not going to happen in 5 seconds.
No. And you are right that social media and
my Lord,
YouTube and yes, even the dog's going to get me for that one. But this instant society, Instagram, like, look at a 5-second video and everything's perfect and people are beautiful and their bodies are perfect, and it's just like, that is not life. So I think you just got to understand that and then get past it. But no, I think the big takeaway, if you you want to get fit and you want to get better, where do you start? You just start 10, 10, 20 first thing in the morning, go for a week and just do it. Doesn't matter how many. If you can do that and start that's the start of the process.
Yeah.
The truth is, if you want to get, better shape to do sport, surfing, whatever, you're going to have to do more, but that's okay. You take that next step after you've bedded in your 10, 10, 20. Yeah. So most habits, there is no special number, but I believe it's somewhere around 90 days, isn't it? If you can do something consistently for 90 days.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
Interesting.
Don't quote me. I'm sure the internet can have a wild speculation on. There is no exact number, but my understanding is it's somewhere around that.
I didn't know that. Wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. If you can do something consistently for 90 days, it'll start becoming a habit.
Wow.
Yeah. Where your brain
educated me, sir.
Yeah, where your brain kind of just does it without thinking. Which you get to the point where you want to do it, okay?
Yeah.
You don't get up and think, oh, I've got to do my 10, 10, 20. You just get up and, do my 10, 10, 20 today, cool. And then you go and, I'll have my coffee. Like, I don't get up and go, oh, God, I'm going to make a coffee. I'm like, here we go, another one. I don't know if you like coffee, but so 90 days, your brain starts switching from you've got to make yourself do it to just you want to do it. Like, what it's like with exercise. Once you get fitter, your body gets a certain adrenaline rush out of it, right? You feel better afterwards, mentally, physically. And then the next day, your body wants to do it, right? If you get really fit at stuff, then, going for a run doesn't hurt. Your body almost takes your brain for a run.
So here's a little brain dump. So once you get into a reasonable state of fitness, like you say, probably after about that 90, 90 days to get those habits up and going, right? 90 days, if you're doing, if you're exercising, 2 or 3 times a week, you're at, might not physically see, aesthetically in the mirror those results, but your body will be functioning better. And here's the thing. So 90% and you can quote me on this, YouTube. I think I first heard this from Dr. Peter Attia. 90% of your feel-good hormones, dopamine and serotonin, they are made in your stomach, right?
Yeah, crazy.
They are made in your stomach. So when you're regularly exercising, motion is lotion, and you're moving around, okay, guess what's happening? Okay, your microbiome, your whole body's working, your digestion system.
Your body's
okay,
working.
it's sending those feel-good hormones racing around your body to your mind. You are feeling better.
Yeah.
You're gonna start feeling better. And then, if that's not enough motivation, then, I don't know what is. So, yeah.
And that's also why I suspect it's highly related to your diet too.
Oh, big time. Big time.
Yep, you can do your 10-10-20 every morning, but if you're still eating rubbish and drinking every day, it's going to be a long, impossible road. People won't want to hear that.
If they want to hear that, it's a whole other subject. But if you put bad fuel in your car, it runs like rubbish. I mean, your body is no different. But anyway, that's a whole other subject.
Yeah. So don't be surprised. The takeaway is 10-10-20.
Yep.
Just
healthy habit.
If you want to get fitter and change your life, that's where you start. Number one step.
100%. And here's another stat I'll throw in there. So this is World Health Organization. You build yourself up to whether you're doing 180 minutes a week. So that's not even 3 hours in an entire week. You will reduce your risk of all-cause mortality. That means dying of anything by 50%. Okay? Now, those are the stats. By 50%, just exercising for 3 hours a week. I mean, do the math. I mean, bang for your buck. Why wouldn't you do it? Anyway, boom, off me soapbox.
No, good on you. Just to add about 10-10-20, I think I'm done.
No, give it a shot, guys.
Yeah.
See if it works for you.
Go try it. Otherwise, another episode of Surf Tuesday. I guess we've done 2 now. Oh, yeah, it's a record. Apparently, I had 5 subscribers and it went down to... Sorry, I had 7. It's gone down to 5. Because I haven't done anything. And I'm pretty sure one's my sister. Hi, Jane.
Ciao, ciao.
Okay, we'll go.
All right.
Cheers. See you later.
See you guys.
Bye.